All right, everybody, welcome to another Z1 Rando, the fall tournament, which is, this game is going up against Cavin856 and JKAllen2. I am Redbird Grad, and with me tonight is Trenton GL. Trenton, how you doing?
Doing all right, especially if things are working now.
Yeah, it looks like our runners are ready to roll, and I had a little bit of a mic snafu a little earlier, but we are right on top of this right now. So runners are starting in the southeast.
Well, you know you can buy a blue candle, so that might affect your decision on take any, and wand is the latter item, so interesting information up front.
Yeah, those are two great things to see right at start. Wand is a great item to use inside dungeons, and then knowing where you can buy a candle right off the bat, as soon as you find money, you can up A, go right back to start, and grab a candle. So these are two great finds early. And if we could get the trackers clear, that would be great. Those are from last night, guys. We apologize. We'll clear them out and get them ready for you.
And speaking of the choose any, Calvin takes the candle anyways.
Yeah, that's still usually my first pickup is a candle early on, just for exploration and routing purposes. Usually you'll find enough hearts during a seed. It won't matter. I'll just grab a candle. Plus you can save your money for hints, and the hints are so important in these types of seeds.
Quick exploration, you're right by a couple of the possible Armos item locations, so it makes a lot of sense to be checking these areas.
Ooh, an early death on JK's side. This overworld's going to be a little tough. So far we're seeing whiz robes early on, and around Vanilla 2, it's very difficult to get up there and maneuver around those guys, so that's a little difficult. It's going to throw our runners for a loop right away.
Yeah, on the upside though, you know you're not facing the whiz robes in the dungeons, so everything has trade-off.
Yeah, that's a great point, because that wand that's sitting there on that ladder item is going to be useful against everything you see in the dungeons now.
And there we find the magic sword, so that's sitting at Vanilla 8. Close enough to start, we might see a play for it if they get enough hearts, but that really comes down to your luck in the levels before there's even a chance.
And as these guys are going here early, what they're doing right now is they're looking for the wood sword. The wood sword has to be in an open cave location. There's caves scattered all across Hyrule. You don't need a candle to get into. You don't need bombs, anything like that. So they're looking for the sword. So you're seeing kind of a mad dash across Hyrule looking for that open cave.
Meanwhile, we found level 9. Not that you need it this early, but hey, it never hurts to know where it is.
Yeah, any information is good information right now. You know that. That location right now is not useful, but you don't have to search it down later, which can mean minutes in a race.
Personally, there's... I don't track medicine shops all over the world, but I always like to know the closest one to start and the closest one to level 9, because that's where I'm most likely to want it. And if you find one near the start now, then it's already close to level 9, so that could be something to impact it later on.
Yeah, I've seen two different schools of thought there. I've seen people that track everything, every single item, every single shop, what everything holds, and some people say, I just want one of everything. I'm a one of everything guy. If I find an arrow shop, oh, there's our sword. So that's a great find on Cavin's side. I'm a one of everything guy. I just want kind of one item of each type. So where's the bait, kind of a cheap bait? Where's the arrows? Where's a bomb shop? Maybe I'll put a couple bomb shops if they're spread apart, those types of things.
So JK is not very close to that wood sword right now. He's continuing to explore the world elsewhere, and he has found the any roads. So we got one on Death Mountain, which is always a good sign. It's good the more ground you can cover with those.
Yeah, that's a good one, but that any road took him to another any road right beside him, so it's good to get that cave out of the way, because that's the most out-of-the-way cave besides the one in the southwest. So right now, this is kind of helping his exploration, even though those two didn't really help him too much. He was able to knock out that cave in the northwest, so the rest of them will be pretty easy. I bet JK will find the sword here in the next couple minutes.
So we also saw one of them pop out on Candle Row, which is not a bad layout. I mean, if you get 3 out of 4 any roads useful when it's randomized, that's doing pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great for early exploration. If you don't find the flute during your run, the any roads can absolutely save you some time if you make good use of them. To give you a little background on the racers that we haven't talked about them yet. Cavin and JKAllen, they're both kind of new runners. I looked up their speedruns live stats, and Cavin started on October 30th of this year as far as using SRL. He could have used some before. I don't really know too much about him before that. And JKAllen was 2 days after that on November 1st. So we have very new runners. They only have 7 total races between them officially on SRL. So this should be a really even, really good matchup.
So here's a good find for JKAllen without the sword. It's level 2, shorter dungeon, and the item's very likely to be sitting on the floor. In fact, for all we know, that heart container was actually the item and not the heart container for the level.
Yeah, I've actually done that before. I've had a heart container in 2 or 2 heart containers in 2 before, and I was scouring 2, 3 or 4 different times, going back and forth, clearing the entire dungeon, looking for the item, not realizing I picked up 2 heart containers from 2. So you've got to really track 2 if you see a heart container early.
So how would you go about marking that on your own tracker when you're doing it? Would you put that first heart container in the level slot, or would you put it in the heart container list?
The first one you come across in 2, you have to assume is just the level heart that you're gonna see, so that it reminds you that you have not found an item yet in that level. If you put it in the item spot early, then what you might do is leave 2 without the actual item that drops, and it could be a huge mistake for you.
That makes a lot of sense, and then JKAllen's going to back out of 2. He doesn't have the sword yet, combat. Can't fault him for that, but good information in knowing where it is. Plus, he picked up a heart, so if he finds the white sword item, he's got a decent chance of picking it up.
Yeah, that's a great point. So there's 3 items that right away you can kind of look for as you're going through the overworld. The first is the sword that you're guaranteed to find. Oh my gosh, bombs are 40. That's the worst they can be. So I doubt we'll be buying bombs this seed. The second is the white sword item, which could be a randomized item. It's not always the white sword. It could be a boomerang. It could be the book. It could be whatever it is. You're guaranteed to get that item anywhere between 4 and 6 hearts. So guaranteed to get it at 6. You can start checking as early as 4. And the third thing is an Armos is going to give you a free item. So one of the Armos is going to hook you up with something. And again, it could be anything.
And there's our Triforce in level 2. Calvin's going to go ahead and pick it up, which refills his health, so that makes a certain amount of sense. And you're not losing any ground in the dungeon particularly, but he's obviously going to have to go back in and look for the item. His combat will be quite a bit easier since he's coming in here with the wood sword, but you definitely want to find an item in a short dungeon early on.
Yeah, the way 2 is structured is that you don't see a lot of key blocks in 2, so you can really use 2 to build up your key stash early. Usually what you see is bomb exploration in level 2s, just the way it is set up. And also what he's seeing in here is he's seeing some orange gorillas, and the orange gorillas are going to hook him up with bombs as well with global chances. So this is a good dungeon to be able to explore early, so I don't fault him one bit for coming back into it.
And oh, by the way, these wall masters are a good source of money usually.
Yeah, wall masters drop the 5 rupees quite frequently, so knocking them out and taking advantage of building up your money stash, because as soon as you find hints, you're going to want that money to buy as many hints as possible. Those hints are so powerful in these seeds.
Oh, and JKAllen sees the oh-so-fun Wizrobes blocking the entire road.
Yeah, this is actually geographically a great starting spot, being in the southeast, because there's so many options you have. The problem is the Wizrobe frequency that we've seen so far is insane.
I think that's level 9 JKAllen just turned up there. We had already seen it, but the top of his screen is just a little bit cut off for us.
Yeah, JK right now is doing some good exploration in the southeast, burning bushes here, and he's got the blue candle that's going to make this a little easier. And the one thing you want to have when you're in the forest is the candle. He's got that, so he's going to be able to explore the majority of it. You just got to find this wood sword here real quick.
Ooh, what a room.
It's actually not bad when you got 3 hearts. Yeah, when you got 3 hearts, the life or money room is actually a good one to find, because what it does is when you give up a heart, the game will not let you give up your last heart or the 3rd heart. You have to have a minimum of 3. So when you actually give that heart up, it turns you into zombie link status, and you have no active life. It takes you all the way off, and at your first hit, you're dead, but you pass up that room and you never have to go through it, so it's not bad at all.
And getting that out of the way is nice for the rest of it. Now he gets a heart, so good for him that he happened to go there second. Sometimes you need a little bit of luck on your side.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we're seeing here from Cavin is 2 is not that big. Oh, and there's a great map drop. Okay, so this is a small dungeon. He's going to be able to explore now and know where these bomb holes are going to be. Usually you're bomb blocked. There's another key block, though, so it is kind of the commentator's curse right now. I said you don't get a lot of key blocks in 2, and we're seeing a couple of them right here, so that's my bad. Usually this is not the case, so hopefully he gets a key here from clearing this room out.
Key or the item. Got the key. No reason to unlock that door when you can walk around it, even if it is a long way.
Yeah, and right here on one bomb, the one thing you want to see runners do is be able to force a 10 count, or you can clear these guys out, which they could give them a random bomb drop as well. But being able to force a 10 count, what the game is set up to do, everybody knows the 10th enemy has the bomb, that hint that you got from the old man in level 8 in the vanilla game, right? What that means is that as long as you kill 10 enemies in a row without getting hit, that 10th enemy, if you kill it with a bomb, as long as that enemy will drop an item, it will give you a bomb. So you're able to keep your bomb stash going by killing 9 enemies, killing that 10th one with a bomb. You'll get a 4-pack of bombs and you can keep rolling. So the ability to do that is what separates some of the good runners from the best. And hopefully we can see that from these 2 tonight.
JKAllen just got a hint, but I wasn't able to read it fast enough. And it's the any key in level 2. So all your key issues are solved. You can call it the any key, the all key, the magic key. You can call it Georgia for all I care. Just
you can call it he has no more issues ever. That's what I'll call it.
There you go. So the any key in level 2, we pick it up about 11 minutes into this run.
Yeah, so you'll see the difference in sequencing between what Cavin did and JK did. JK found 2 before he had the sword, was able to get in there, and he saw kind of a little bit of the layout, but we don't know when he's going to go back to 2 now because he's done it already. So sequencing is huge when you're talking rando, because Cavin now found it after having the sword. The sword allowed him to clear it out, and he got a huge boon in having this any key. Man, this early spot is really tough with the blue wizards right there, and then you have the orange ones in the vertical path up here to the north of where he's at right now, which makes that screen brutal as well.
Cavin opts to take the bombs out of the shop, so he wants to do some more exploration right now, more than he's worried about saving for hints or possibly blue ring.
Yeah, and from what I've seen on the overworld, like these blue guys right here, these Octorots, he just got a bomb drop from them. You really got to either be able to force counts or know which enemies are going to be able to give you bombs, because that's $40 he won't have for arrows later, or maybe hints later, or a blue ring if he wants to purchase that. So having money go a long way in these seeds is super important.
There's the closest medicine shop to start that we have seen so far, and JK picks up another heart container close to vanilla start.
Yeah, you don't see him going back into 2, which I don't blame him. I mean, he wants to do some more explorations. 2 is kind of small, so you want to get back there as soon as you can, and you know you're going to have a floor drop, so it's kind of nice. But he just wants to see as much as Hyrule as he can. He's probably trying to find level 1 or something else pretty easy. Maybe because he has 5 hearts now, what's the white sword item? See that. So that's why he's kind of exploring right now.
And we did get to see that hint this time, and says the brother is in the forest, so that was the hint I did get to see with JKAllen earlier. He did, however, find the hints now.
Yeah, so here's the decision point for the runners. When do you buy the hints? Do you use the money on the hints? Some people don't buy them at all, but I'll tell you what, having the helpful hints in this flag set, they are absolutely so powerful that you don't want to turn them away. You want to buy them as soon as you can, because the problem is if you get into a couple dungeons and then you start digging those, and let's say you get a boomerang or something out of them, and then you go buy the hints and one of them told you the boomerang was in that dungeon, now you just wasted the money on the hint and the time spent searching that boomerang down. So the decision point here of getting these hints is huge.
Now Cavin picks up some more rupees, not very much, and I don't think that'll buy more than one hint, but JKAllen, meanwhile, has found another heart container, so I think he's found all of the overworld now. He's got one. No, he got one out of the dungeons, so one more is unaccounted for.
Yeah, one more. He got one out of the dungeon, and then he took a candle on one of them, and then 2 hearts. But the one thing he is guaranteed is as soon as he finds that white sword item, he's got 6 hearts now. He knows he'll be able to get it, so that's pretty big for him.
Gotta get your timing right when you've got those multiple enemies. It's better to be a little patient than swing your sword and get hit by the one behind the one you're watching.
Yeah, these orange wizrobes. Anytime you have like one row that you can go on, you do not want to see orange wizrobes because they'll spawn right in front of you, and that's what the one enemy in the game, or one of the enemies in the game, that you cannot sword buffer through. Usually, if you have an enemy in front of you, you can swing your sword, and while it's flashing, you can walk through it through their iframes. You cannot do that with wizrobes. So when they're just right in front of you like that, there's nowhere for you to go.
That would sure leave me tempted to take a few moments and try and clear it down to just one wizrobe by the start screen, just to make that easier to walk through every time I need to. If you have just the one alive, the rest are not going to respawn.
Yeah, not to mention that those orange wizrobes being by start, if you need bombs like right now, you could start farming those guys because those orange ones will give you bombs on global drops. So you could farm those guys if they don't give them to you. You can up an A. I mean, you're going to spend a little time doing that. But right now, if you're in a situation where you have no bombs whatsoever right now, and you know they cost 40, they may be a good source of them. These Gibdos are also a good source too, but they're going to take a ton of hits from the wood sword.
And if they happen to find a ladder soon, then they'll have the white sword, which will double their combat output against most of these things. So
yeah, they'll get the wand off the coast if they get the ladder.
Yeah, so that's one of the 2 biggest things I think you'd be looking for right now is the ladder or the white sword. Just because those have the potential to really break the seed open for you.
Yeah, if I'm JK, I'm either ducking into level 2, getting whatever the item was in there, or I'm doing more exploring in the overworld, looking for the white sword. Man, that screen is absolutely brutal to come through. I'm looking for the white sword item because I have 6 hearts, or looking for level 1 because there's 2 items in there. If I'm him, I'm trying to find another way around because that screen's going to be impossible.
Yeah, but with no bombs, I really like what you were saying. Killing them has advantages of you could possibly find some bombs while you have none. And if you're gonna keep walking by there, I just think it's worth a minute to kill 2 or 3 of them off and make that easier travels.
Yeah, so to give you a hint too, JK spent a minute there trying to clear the blue gorillas out, or the blue moblins out. On your table, right? So there's 4 different groups of enemies. And the bomb dropping enemies, those blue guys right there, they're in that bomb dropping group. If you see a heart that you've killed one of them and they give you a heart, immediately that follows a heart is either going to be another heart or a bomb chance. So anytime that you see a heart drop from an enemy that can give you a bomb, you immediately want to kill another one of that exact same enemy or another bomb dropping enemy because you've got a good chance of getting a bomb from them. So hearts are your key on when you see bombs follow.
So we've seen a lot of exploration on this eastern side of the map, but we really haven't found that much in the way of levels. Although JKAllen knows where level 2 is, he didn't get to clear that earlier without the sword. Now he'll go back for that unfinished business. Seems like the play is what we're seeing out of Cavin, which is to move towards the western side of the map.
Yeah, I like this. He's doing a little exploration. I think he's looking for 1. He's already found 2 before. Oh, you kind of wanted that fairy, but you don't chase fairies. I think he wants to find level 1, find level 3, something a little easy to make the overworld exploration easier because this is so hard. JK just found the Triforce in 2, so let's see if he dives back into 2 and looking for the item. He really wants to be in the any key.
Yeah, not that he knows it's the any key yet, but it's short dungeon, and short is usually your friend, especially if the combat is as easy as it is in this too. It's not going to get much more forgiving than this.
Yeah, and like somebody in chat said earlier, being in a dungeon right now is way safer than being in the overworld, so you might as well go back into it anyway.
And Cavin has found level 6.
I was watching JK's screen. Where is level 6 at?
I just got marked, and ooh, a bomb upgrade is early in the levels, so even if you're not getting it now, obviously with not enough money, you might be back for that.
Yeah, bomb upgrades are huge because we're in shapes, right? So your vanilla dungeon shapes that you're used to when you're playing the regular game, that's not how these runners are going to be seeing these levels. So level 2, level 6, all these different levels are going to have a different shape to them. And without the map, you don't know what that shape is. So if you come across a situation where you don't have a key door or you don't know exactly where you need to go, now all of a sudden you've got to use bombs for exploration. If you only have 8 of them, it's find the bomb hole. And with only 8, it's kind of tough.
And by the way, this is one of the worst levels to try and do that in, being level 6.
Yeah, level 6 is historically one of the biggest ones, the way it works out with shapes. It's usually bigger than 7, not as big as 8 a lot of times, but it can be. And level 6, digging early, a lot of times you'll find ladder blocks, you'll find Goma blocks, like right here, if it has no way to bomb left, here's a ladder block, and that's what 6s are historically known for.
And JKAllen has now picked up the any keys, so he's going to up an A and be done with this dungeon. So he's now pretty well tackled this eastern side of the map, having only found that level in level 9, so it seems like a good time to head for a different part of the world.
Yeah, if I'm him with 6 hearts, I am really doing a lot of overworld exploration right now, looking for whatever that white sword item is going to be. It could be the ladder, which leads into the wand, which would give him a huge edge in offense. So I am actually just taking a look wherever I can go, wherever I haven't been. He hasn't been in the southwest. You've got a candle. You can burn the southwest as well. You can go to the grave area. Maybe there's easier enemies over there. He just needs to do something other than staying in the southeast.
Eight bombs. Death Mountain is a decent place to be with that many. It's a little rough, especially if you find a level, but...
Yeah, any exploration is good exploration right now, so I agree with what JKAllen's doing.
Found an arrow shop there. One of those sneaky things, when you're playing for yourself, make sure you track where an arrow shop is, because you'll probably need it.
I think you're pointing at me on my last seed for that one.
No, thinking more of my last one with all those Pulse voices.
Yeah, if you see Pole's voice in dungeons, then arrows help your combat because Pole's voice take 10 hits with the wood sword or 1 arrow. So that trade-off right there is super easy to make.
And JKAllen has found another level for us. I can't quite make out that number. Possibly 3. That would be a very good find for him if that is the case.
Yeah, we'll see next time he has to pause it and the screen rolls up. Otherwise, if we could get that screen pinched a little bit, that would help out a little bit.
And speaking of Bull's voice, level 6 is the banana.
So now what you want to see, he does have the compass though, so he's going to be able to get to the Triforce hopefully pretty quickly. And that's actually not a bad clear of 6. It's not a lot of time spent in there. It's not the item you want, but again, it's something. It's progress, so you have a little information right now.
So we've got clarification that that's actually the runner's screen that has it a little bit cut off, so there's not going to be anything we can do.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, thank you.
So Cavin was able to find this Triforce pretty early. Not Triforce, the item pretty quickly in 6. He's also got the compass now, so this should be a pretty quick clear of a pretty large dungeon. That's good movement by him, but maybe ladder blocked.
Like I said, these level 6s historically have a way of doing this. You think you've got a way, like it was close to the southwest, right, where he started, but there was no way for him to get over there unless he didn't use bombs and bomb those west walls up here. But it looks like he's going to get out of 6 because he was ladder blocked a couple different places. It could have been where he was segmented off where he needed one more stairway to get there. Who knows, but he's going to dive back out of level 6.
I don't mind that play at all because you know the ladder's not there, so you're not missing that. It's just Triforce, so why not come back with the ladder and make sure you're fine? And it looks like this is level 3 as Cavin has found it now as well.
Yeah, this is another good decision to dive this dungeon. 3s usually aren't that bad, as long as you can handle the combat inside of it and it's not too terrible. 3 is going to be a smaller dungeon. This room right here is a little tough right now, though, because everything in here is going to be able to do 2 hearts of damage, except for that Stalfos that's just kind of hanging out on the bottom. So you got to be very, very careful of these guys.
We got rivers in this level too, so we'll see if there's another way around.
So what you saw Cavin do there is he was able to exit the room and then come back into it. And one, what that does is that locks in any kills that you've acquired. So if you were to die right here, there would only be, again, 4 enemies instead of 5. If he leaves again, now it locks in 2 kills, and there'd only be 3 instead of 4. So every time you die, if you were to leave the room and come back in, it's going to lock in those number of enemies that you killed. Also, what it does is that enemies have groups. There's different groups of enemies, right? So you saw him kill a Stalfos, leave and come back, and there was a Stalfos again. Well, the Stalfos slot was higher than whatever was on the 5th list of that enemy that was in that room. So if there's a lot of dangerous enemies in a room, but there's a couple that are easy, what a good strategy is to go in the room, kill the easy ones, leave, and come back and see if those easy ones were high on the list. Makes that room so much easier to clear.
And he got rid of the pulse voice for just the Lionels. I like that, actually. The Lionels are going to take less hits. They're going to stand still instead of being jumping all over the place. So I like the difference a lot there. Now you just have to survive their swords.
Yeah, it's these Lionels right here. I mean, they don't care. They're going to shoot. They don't have to see anything to shoot, so they kind of have a mind of their own. So as you're walking around a room trying to avoid bubbles, just know they're going to keep shooting no matter what, and you really have to keep an eye on them. Your peripheral vision and your regular, whatever you got to do, you've got to keep your eye on these Lionels because they're going to make it rough on you.
All right, he got the red Lionel down. Now it's just the blue, and he's got beam swords back via fairy. And he's through the room.
Yeah, and the best part about that room is because there's bubbles in it, the game sees bubbles as enemies. So nothing is ever going to respawn in there because the game still thinks there's enemies in that room. So that room is clear now for the rest of the time that he's in this dungeon.
Oh, look who's here to play.
You don't like Gleeoks in diagonal rooms, do you?
Maybe with Red Ring. But it is only a 2-headed one, so I think it's worth going back and trying again.
Yeah, with the wood sword, it's going to take 16 hits to clear that Gleeok. It's going to take 10 for the first head. That first head's going to pop off, and then another 6 for that second head. So you've got to really, really, really be careful with this guy because it's going to take a while to clear him out.
Oh, by the way, I don't think we've mentioned that JKAllen is using custom sprite color option in the randomizer. He's not found the red ring yet. We haven't seen that.
Yeah, that's correct. He like me, is starting with, which is cool about the randomizer. You can change your guy. You can use Zelda if you want. You can use the old man. You can use whatever you want. But the one thing it does do is it asks questions. People have questions on, do you have this? Do you not have that? When you have these different sprites, but it's really awesome that you can do that. So it's one part of the randomizer I really like.
How's that for a hint? Gleeok lurks by the lake. But important to note one thing we saw in that room. The bombs were on the ground, which meant there was no drop. There was no reward for beating that Gleeok. So he wisely took advantage of the hitboxes and just went right around it.
Yeah, the cool thing about Gleeok is that his body doesn't do any damage. So if you can get in his body, not around his heads, if you can get right into the body, you can stand there all day and it's not going to do anything. He'll still shoot fireballs at you, but he's not going to be able to hit you other than those fireballs. The heads are what do the damage and the fireballs, not his body. So he was able to get past those heads, get into the body, and go through that door.
These Lambolas are being cooperative and giving him a chance to block clip. Now he's got it, and we've got the silver arrows in level 3.
Wow, that's a huge find there because I thought Cavin was going to dip out of this dungeon here or look for just the Triforce. JK finding those silvers, that's big time. Now, I tell you what, one of the things that as soon as you get the silvers, you're going to want to do is find hints, because if you can find whatever dungeon has the bow and the combat's not bad enough and you're able to dig that bow out, that just upgrades your offense hugely, because the silver arrows are going to do exactly what the magic sword does of damage, 4 points of damage every time that you shoot an arrow. So it's instant upgrade to offense if you can find this bow.
And also a Triforce for JKAllen here at 29 minutes 30 seconds, so he's got our second Triforce pickup of this seed, of this race.
So the one thing we haven't seen yet is the Armos item, so I'm going to be very interested in seeing if these guys make a play for it, or is he going to dig this dungeon as well? This is another round number on the bottom. It could be 8. I don't know what it is yet.
I'm thinking he's in 6.
Oh yeah, we've seen 6. This is 6, you're right.
I did have to look away because I was updating my notes, but considering the area, that's what I assumed. So, Cavin gets the warm welcome to the level from Gliok.
Glioks have ways of doing that. So you'll see kind of the routing has been about the same, 2, 6, and 3 in slightly different orders. The combat right now, JKAllen's combat's been just slightly better. He's been able to get through these a little more efficiently. And because of that, you're going to see a small Triforce lead. And if Cavin can make up this combat, I mean, we're going to have a really good race here. Otherwise, combat is king. Combat might decide this race.
Asked in chat how we don't have the Armos item yet. Well, the most likely candidate at this point, in fact, I think our only option left is over in the Death Mountain area, which you can tell from the map hasn't really been explored yet. They really explored the east first, which didn't produce a lot of results in terms of levels, and did not find the Armos item in the possible locations there.
Yeah, there's one Armos check just to the west of 6 that I'm not sure. JK, he hasn't seen that yet. And if you think 6 is ladder block, like right here or something like that, what I might do is duck out of this, go see what that is, because it could be ladder to help you in 6. It could be something else to help with your combat. If you're this close to an Armos, you might poke and take a look at that first, and then come back in if you need to.
Yeah, it made sense to go ahead and look around here a little bit because he had just found this level. But once you start seeing rivers, maybe time to, if nothing is free on one of the easy screens, just back out.
Well, that compass is a pretty big find. We'll see if he finds the way, because it's going to be in the southwest. He's going to be blocked like Cavin was. Not sure, again, if Cavin was able to bomb the west side going up there in the bottom left when he was in there or not. But we're going to see how JKAllen handles it right now.
And he now finds the banana in 6 and will back out.
The cool thing about those blue Lamolas, and you're seeing this right here too, right? For Cavin, the same thing happened with JKAllen. Cavin does find the silver, so that's no advantage to anybody anymore. They both have them. But those blue Lamolas usually move horizontally. They don't track north or south on their own unless Link moves that way. Some of them get aggressive and some can get around that, and they are random. But usually they track just horizontally, so you're kind of safe. If you got something in between you like that, he was pretty safe there, unless one of them got really aggro and wanted to go around it, but usually they just track horizontally on you.
And big for JKAllen, he's able to get the bomb upgrade. He now has a max of 11.
Yeah, that's not bad, being able to pick up 3 more.
For good measure.
Yeah, that's great.
Be a Triforce for Calvin here at 33 minutes. You get the Triforce, that'll double 3.
Yeah, so like I said, both runners are pretty much tracking about the same. Level 2, level 3 done. Cavin's been in level 6 right now. He's tried to bomb through here, like JKAllen's figuring out right now that he can't. He's going to get out of this here pretty quick. Cavin's going to go up to the north and bomb what JKAllen has done. So both runners are neck and neck. This race is shaping up to be a good one down the finish, if both of them track the same way all the way through this race.
Yeah, and they're not taking the same paths either. They're just have ended up with similar information. They've gone different routes to get there. So always nice to see when we got some divergence in strategies. But now you have to imagine that the Armos item should be a high priority for these runners.
Yeah, I'm with you. The Armos item absolutely has to be a high priority. Finding a level 1 is pretty big right now. They found 2 and 3. 1 is the best bet for them right now. So they need to explore on their way to the Armos, open up whatever they can. As long as it's in the routing, try to get to these Armos because you're going to get a free item somewhere.
Magic shield for sale, but not going to be picked up by Cavin here. Looks like he's going to continue to finish out the northwest here before he goes looking for the Armos.
Yeah, JK is really putting in some time in here in 6 trying to find this staircase. If he's able to get this Triforce. It's one dungeon he doesn't have to come back to. And being in the northwest, it's one that you really don't want to because start is in the southeast. So now with his death, we'll see what he decides to do. But he's really putting in some time here in 6.
Well, here's the best argument I can make on the other side. You've got the Triforce out of level 3, so you're a recorder away from this being a pretty convenient location to come back to.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, personally, I wouldn't have dug 6 this long to start, but once you put some time into it, it's so much harder to get out of it and say, no, I'm going to leave and come back because you've been digging it for 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 minutes now, trying to get through here. You almost feel like you've wasted that time if you walk away right now.
So what it comes down to is at some point you have to have a line in your mind where you say, okay, it's worth this much time, but it's not worth another minute. So if I don't have a clear path, time to back out.
Yeah, and I think JK's doing a little exploration up here in the northeast. One, he's looking for a ladder, or not a ladder, but a stairway to get to that southwest side. And the other thing, I mean, he's seeing this river block again. He's looking for a map. If he can find a map, he'll know where those bomb holes are and to see if it's truly segmented off like he thinks it is. But he says, nope, that's enough. I've seen this river. I'm out.
Okay, he put in the effort to try and find another way. It just wasn't forthcoming. And the magic boomerang is the Armos item.
So these runners knew better than us. They knew the magic boomerang was up. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, the magic boomerang is not what you wanted to see under that thing. You've seen now both boomerangs. You really don't have any more weaponry in this seed than really you started with because you've left both those boomerangs on the table. What you really have to do right now is find level 1 and find this ladder.
And our hints are still on purchase, so we're not quite sure where things are, and I believe this is level 1 JKAllen just found at Vanilla 6.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think this is level 1 right here, and this is one that you absolutely want to spend as much time as you can in clearing this in full.
It's one of those shorter dungeons. We know there's 2 items, one in a staircase, one sitting on the floor. Or will appear on the floor once you've killed everything. Either way. It is on the floor, it's the croissant.
Yeah, so not always necessarily needed, but we could have a level that's blocked by the power bracelet, so it's good to pick up. It's not our ladder, not our bow. And this could be a room dropping, or a room right here that we can get under the stairs, and it's not, unfortunately.
Yeah, now that we found the one on the floor, we know we're looking for the stairs, and it looks like there might be some dark nuts in your way.
Yeah, these dark nuts are going to take 4 hits with the wood sword apiece, and what you want to do is fight these from underneath, exactly like JKAllen is doing. So when you see a block like this, Link's sword is able to get through a block and hit whatever's above that block, but you can't do it the opposite way. You can't hit through the right, you can't hit through the left, and you can't hit down. But you can swing your sword just because of the way that you sit on the screen through blocks going north. So he wants to fight them from below the blocks. It's his perfect combat. That's exactly what you want to see. And that's why he's not taking any damage, because he's fighting in the correct way in this room.
And he also did a great job with the bombs. Key in facing a different way than straight into the dark nuts so that the damage will actually credit.
And unfortunately, both the rooms that could have dropped something did not. And there's a Triforce in your way, so you're going to have to come back through here.
That's going to give him all his life back, but the unfortunate thing is he'll have to re-clear those dark nuts.
How about this screen in the northwest for Cavin, huh? Yeah, this is brutal. I think he's trying to farm bombs right now because he knows the enemies that are going to drop bombs, but unfortunately everything is shooting at him and making it almost impossible.
Yeah, the Northwest here has not been very forgiving or rewarding so far. More Dark Nuts in level 1, in case you didn't have enough already.
Yeah, so the good thing about this room right here for JKAllen is he's got the any key. All he's looking for right now that can really help him is a map. So he's looking for rooms that can drop things like this 5x2 can drop things in level 1. He's looking for either the map or something to where he can push that's going to be able to give him this. There's the map right there, so that's going to be huge. It'll help him navigate this better and find this last room. And oh, it's a snake. That's insane.
Nothing he could do about that one either. It's just he went left and you had to go right without knowing that you could. Or knowing that you could that far.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about earlier about find the magic bomb hole. Sometimes right here, this room, you would pass right by. You would just go to the left and just keep going. You would have no idea without the map that there's your magic bomb hole, there's your stairs, there's the extra heart. Everything lied behind that one bomb hole, and we got a flute. So find the magic bomb hole indeed. Thank God that map helped us out.
I think that's a really good pickup, not only for the potential combat, but the transportability right now is going to be so great. We've got the Triforce out of 2, which is over in the northeast. We've got the Triforce out of 3, which is in this area where 6 and 7 are. So if you have to leave and come back, the Flute's going to make world transport so much easier right now.
Yeah, you're spot on with that because you were talking about having the Triforce out of 3 and being able to go back to 6 earlier if you had the flute, and we have the flute now. So this is perfect.
So here we are 40 minutes in. Let's run through what... have to get my window right to be able to do that. What we've seen so far is that the ladder item is the wand. Our runners weren't able to get that yet because they don't have the ladder. The Armos item was the magic boomerang. In level 1 has the power bracelet and the recorder. Level 2 had the magic key. Level 3 had the silver arrows. Level 6 is home to the wood boomerang. That's our item recap so far.
And I think we just found level 4, so a lot of these levels just bunched up right here. And JK getting a hint that no feat of strength will save the princess, so that bagel that he got earlier, the baguette, is not going to help out here.
That does mean no levels will be there, but could still be a useful shop or something else that still makes the power bracelet rewarding.
Yeah, you can still explore it for hearts and different shops like that. It's just we know now that a level is not going to be behind there because as soon as you get that hint, you know nothing that's behind a power bracelet will lead to the princess, which is level 9, anything like that.
More Stalfos here in level 4. Usually pretty nice for clearing out, and they have a habit of dropping lots of money and lots of hearts.
We really have to find this ladder because I'm seeing a lot of ladder blocks here. Unless we really start, looking for bomb holes and ways around these different levels. I'm not sure if JK has explored all of this yet, but well, there's a key door, thank God. But this is starting to get a little situation to where this ladder is becoming more and more important to the seed, and it could unlock whoever finds the ladder finds the way to win this seed.
And it was asked in chat why the runners hadn't explored the southwest yet. They're really just following the logic of the seed. They were in the east, so they went through the areas they could first. Then they had the Any Road take them up to the Death Mountain area, so that was the next easiest place to get to. So it does make sense that this would be the area that they would leave. Or still have to go to, I should say.
Yeah, they're just kind of playing with what the seed's giving them and right in front of them right now. And I don't blame them one bit for that. I mean, they found all the easy dungeons, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're all good right there. JK's just found 4, I think, unless that's 7. But yeah, they're kind of dancing with what the seed's giving them right now. It's just unfortunately everything is pointing towards this ladder that they need to get.
And now Cavin can afford some hints. So he finds out where the recorder is in 1, which is new information to him. And we already knew that Dodongo had the magic key, so... Again, helpful hints aren't necessarily useful hints. That just means that they will be true information. As opposed to the community hints, which can be all over the place. Cavin is in this area of the starting screen, and he picks up the letter. We've had a shortage of medicine shops, so we're probably going to find them. And JKAllen taking his time with these guys popping up on top of you, so... Whenever you walk onto a overworld screen and nothing shows up, it's usually a good idea to watch for the troll popping up on you. And these Wizrobes, so unforgiving. He gets that bush burned open, but not able to get into it.
Yeah, this overworld is absolutely insane, man.
Boy, you'd really love to find the white sword right about now.
Yeah, white sword, and I keep harping on this ladder, but ladder to get the wand, something just to upgrade from this wooden sword to get through this stuff.
And looks like JKAllen is killing these guys, maybe hoping for some more bombs. As he had run out yet again.
Yeah, being able to manage bombs is one of the key aspects of this rando, just because you need them for the overworld exploration, you need them for combat, you need them for finding bomb holes in the underworld. I mean, you need bombs for so much. Being able to manage them is so important.
Ooh, JKAllen gets hugged in between a couple Gibdos, and that's another death.
Yeah, the deaths are stacking up, but on this overworld, I don't blame them at all. There's no real easy way through this. You kind of have to read and react every single screen right now and cross your fingers and get to where you're going.
As people are coming in, maybe not everyone's aware of this. Let's just clarify this point again. JKAllen does not have the red ring. We've not found that yet. That's one of the options in the randomizer, is to set your sprite color, so that is what he did.
The one advantage that JK does have right now is because of the exploration that he's done, he has 8 hearts right now. And 1, we know that we're going to be able to find the white sword item whenever we find that. But 2, his ability to get through dungeons as long as he stays full on hearts is going to be a little stronger than Cavin's, as Cavin finds another one right there. But he needs to play that and get back into dungeons and keep exploring and trying to find 5 now. Trying to play that advantage of the heart difference that he has. He doesn't know he has it, but he's got a healthy amount right now that he needs to be really exploring. And we find the bow. The bow is the white sword item. That's a huge find from Cavin right now.
Goes along very well with the magic, with the silver arrows, I'm attempting to say. I'm thinking of the magic sword damage levels that it gives, so something you'll be very happy about, and it's definitely a combat upgrade right now.
Yeah, that's huge. Being able to have ranged combat that does 4 hit points of damage every time you fire it helps the rooms that we've seen in the underworld right now. He's going to be able to clear through those. It's just going to be insane, the difference you're going to see as soon as he gets down there again. And level 5, that's it. Okay, so 2 great things in the southwest. If JK can get back down there as well, or towards down there. 1, we found level 5, which we've been looking for. It's another easy dungeon to clear through. And 2, we found the bow. So the southwest had the goods right now, and JK's got to hopefully get down there as well. Trying to think what this level 5 looks like, and I'm thinking, I know everybody goes that the old cactus thing, but this looks kind of like an oil pump or something. I don't know. What do you think? I'm not sure if I lost Trent or not, but I'm going with oil pump, chat. I don't know about you guys, but we're going oil pump here. It's a cactus. All right, chat. All right, it's a cactus. So Cavin is coming back into 5, trying to dig the item out. Was able to find the Triforce pretty easily. He's got the bow and the silvers. They still need to find the ladder, and they know their ladder blocked another dungeon. So he's going to be kind of touring through 5, looking for any room that could be a place where the ladder could be. You can see right now the effectiveness of the silver arrows right now. I mean, it took out that bunny in 1 hit, takes out these blue Lionels in 2 hits. Just has to be careful.
So you've got that room sitting off all by itself. And you know it has theoretically the same chance as basically anywhere else of having your item. But when you see that on the map, what are you figuring the odds are that's your item?
It's actually 0, to be honest,
right.
because once you take the stair out of there, there can't be another stair to go down anywhere. So what you're hoping for is once you get and find a stairway, that it's not going to take you there, because that room cannot have the item in it.
Level 1, level 2 would be a different story.
Yeah, level 1, level 2 would absolutely be a different story, because you could have a floor drop. But again, floor drops on the stairways are very, very rare.
I'm just in the habit of thinking that it's trolling me when I see the one-off room.
And I think actually the only way I can have a floor drop is if it's second quest. So with what we have right now, it's not going to be that.
Well, this is good information as well. There is our bait block. So we now know that that's out of the way and you won't have to worry about purchasing it.
Yeah, bait is not required. So as soon as you see that guy, you can check one item off your list. There's only going to be one of these guys in the seeds that we have right now with the flags that we have. It's only going to be one of these guys right here. So seeing him and there's nothing behind him means you do not have to buy the bait this seed at all.
So far the advantage that Cavin has picked up, aside from finding the bow, is finding this level 5, whereas for JKAllen, he has found level 1 and been rewarded with the recorder. And I think the better question, chat, is why wouldn't a skeleton want a cheeseburger? I want a cheeseburger right now, and I've already had dinner.
Where does it go? Yeah, notice the difference in combat between those. The room when he just had the wood sword, that room right there. Oh, there's another bomb upgrade in 5. If you can note that and come back, it's actually not too bad to get to. But the silver arrows, being able to take out that room like he did, you got to be able to get through these guys, though, I think, and go left. And he finally does, which is great.
Where you love having the magic key, just popping through these doors like they're nothing, because they're nothing. Only a couple rooms left in this dungeon. I don't fault him for going to the open door instead.
And the question is, when you clear this room out, does it take you to the one-off room, or is this your item?
Well, I always figure expect the trolliest possibility first, and then that way if it's the good thing, you're happier, and if it's the trolley thing, then you're less disappointed. So I'm going to assume it's the one-off.
And you are correct. I hope he doesn't go through this because he's going to be very unhappy if he pops back up. Okay.
No, he wisely judges that situation, and now he's going to have to get a bomb across this room while dodging the blue lines.
I'm not sure what dungeon JK just popped back into, but he's going to explore this one a little bit.
He has Triforce out of 3.
Red candle. Okay, so red candle is good to find early because, one, if you don't have a blue candle, of course, it helps with your exploration. It does help when you're in rooms with like Gibdos and things like that take multiple hits, likes, those types of things. You're able to take them out with the red candle. Helps you in bubble rooms. But when you've already got the silver arrows, the red candle is downgraded a little bit, which is why you see Cavin just say, nope, no thanks, I'm good. I can explore with my blue candle and I'll use combat with my silver arrows.
plus has the advantage versus the silvers of being free. And here's level 8 in the woods.
Hey, questions asked, who's in the lead? Right now, I would say Cavin has the lead just because he has the bow. Right now, he's just looking for the ladder. He's done a little better exploration as far as being in the southwest. Found 8. In 8, we have a really, really early compass with the early Triforce. He could take this and take off. He still needs this ladder because we do know we have some ladder blocks, but if you're asking me to pick who's in the lead right now, I'd have to say Cavin by just a little bit because of the bow advantage.
And by the way, JKAllen is high-fiving him here in 8.
With a bomb hole from the bottom, so he took a different route to get there, but they both got the Triforce. Let's see who goes back in. I would hope both of them do.
I think it's a no-brainer for JKAllen since he doesn't have the bow or ladder. A little more of a question for Cavin, but he doesn't have the recorder. I can't remember if he saw the hint or not about Power Bracelet being required, but when you're thinking about the significant items he's missing, you can see it right on his tracker, he's missing 4 of them, so...
Yeah, and the one thing that I don't know if either one of them did either one of them buy the hints that we found?
We saw 2 of the hints. They were repeats of information, though.
Okay,
and
so
Kat telling me that Cavin did see that Power Bracelet wasn't needed, so... 1 less item you're looking for, but still, that's 3 other ones that you might/will need. And it is the ladder, and you need the recorder to get it.
Yeah, so this is real big time right now. JK's got a little advantage here now. I think it just swung back in his favor because if it's locked the way it just was with having to have the recorder first before you get this ladder, Cavin, no matter what he does in this dungeon, he's going to be banging his head against the wall because whatever he finds in here, it's not the ladder. So any time spent right now is just going to be lost until he gets this recorder back. And the recorder was sitting in 1. 1, he hasn't got the Triforce in, so he's going to have to do some work to go back there. The other ones, I think he was blocked in, so it won't take him too much time, but it just depends on how much time he digs in 8 looking for this, being under that Dig Dogger block.
Well, and here's the bad news for him. You look at where he is on the world map, and you look at where level 1 is, there's a lot of stuff in between that he can and probably will check first.
Yeah, I completely agree. The one hope Cavin has right now is that JK did not find the bow yet, so he might full clear 8 looking for the bow, and we all know the bow is the white sword item, so it's not going to be here. But JK is sitting here scrambling, thinking, I don't have bow yet. I have a dungeon right here in front of me that I can full clear. I can look for the bow. I might as well do this instead of looking at every overworld location looking for the white sword item, which could be nothing. It could be the raft. So JK might full clear this 8, which could cause Cavin to be able to stay in this race.
And there's so many other factors. It's still going to be a lot of how well you clear these dungeons, how well you do your routing. If he's able to find his way back to 1 pretty quickly, that will neutralize this advantage. But you assume Cavin's going to check everything else before finding out that that is the item, or he makes the decision to leave thinking he needs the recorder to get the items. Yeah, but he did get the Triforce out of here, so Chad is making a great point that he can come back with the recorder if he finds it. But bear in mind, he doesn't know that what level that is in.
Right. Once you have the recorder and the Triforce, then the best plays for you is to start clearing dungeons that you still needed items in, going from smallest to biggest. So 8 would be kind of the worst case scenario for you because there's so many rooms to dig in 8. To go back into 5, go back into 4, go back into those that now the ladder is going to open up. Because you have the recorder, you can come back in. He's desperately just thinking, I've got to get this bow. I see a dungeon in front of me. I want to do it. And I've been there before. I've thought that. But Chad is right. I mean, leaving this is probably the correct play, but I don't fault anybody for staying in here.
And it's not just leaving, but Chad making the great point that to leave for a reason. You know you can get to that magic wand so easily, and you can warp right back here with the combat upgrade.
Yeah, wand is a big upgrade for JK right now because Cavin, we know, he has got the silver arrows. So if he sees a crazy room to clear and stuff like that, he can always switch over to arrows, get out of that room, and get the rupees back later. JK doesn't have that. The only thing he has right now for combat is his wood sword. So that's a great call by chat, being able to go and grab that wand. And this 8 is just being completely trolly. Neither person really is making any progress as far as what they're trying to find. JK with the second item, Cavin trying to find the first item, and so this is going to be who stays in 8 longer. JK just made the play to do exactly what chat said, to go grab that wand.
Yeah, it makes all the sense in the world right now. You can't fault him for doing that in the slightest. And let's go ahead and run through the items real fast. Here's what we know so far. The lighter item, as we just saw, is the wand. The Armos item was the magic boomerang. The white sword item was the bow. Level 1 has the power bracelet and recorder. Level 2, the magic key. Level 3, the silver arrows. Level 5, the red candle. 6 has the wood boomerang. And 8 has the ladder with another item unaccounted for. And now here he is, right back at level 8. I might kill Aquamentus with the wand just to see if he's going to drop that heart container.
Speaking of heart containers, the other item in 8 is the heart container, so Cavin did not want to see this. He's still desperately looking for this ladder. He knows there's another item in here. He knows there's an item room, which is recorder block, so he might make the mental note, I've got to go find this recorder.
Looks like he's going to go explore, see if he can find another level. But both runners able to come to the right decision that it was time to bail out of that 8. Although JKAllen is back here now and looking for that second item he hasn't had yet, knowing there's a chance it's the bow.
Yeah, he knows he can clear this a little easier right now. He does find the heart container. He hasn't been up this way yet. He knows he can find the second item a little easier because his offensive advantage is just upgraded a little bit by having this wand. So he's got some reach. He's got a little more firepower than having just the wood sword. The problem is, we know that the bow is the white sword item that's on the overworld. So no matter what he finds in here, which we know what it is, but no matter what he does in here, it's not going to help out. So this time in 8 is going to help Cavin try to find this recorder and get rid of this recorder block.
And he went up this way because he hadn't cleared it out yet. I'm not sure he's hit all the spots in the middle of the map just yet, but I think his next natural destination is going to be the graveyard.
Yeah, I agree. And because if he's going to go towards the graveyard and we know the white sword item is the burn bush to the right of 8, leaving here and going west or east is going to be huge. Because if he goes west and then north through the graveyard area and tries to explore through there again, he's missing out on the bow, which is going to cost him a lot of time. So when he leaves 8, which direction he walks is going to determine maybe JKAllen's race.
All those little decisions.
That's why I love this randomizer in this tournament, is because all those little micro decisions add up. It's huge.
And JKAllen is about to find level 1. And probably will be very happy that that's what he sees.
Yeah, Cavin hasn't been in here yet, so once he finds the bagel and then the recorder both, he probably beelines back to 8 knowing he saw that block in there. And he'll be able to clear 1 and 8 out, and any advantage JKAllen had might be gone as soon as he finds this.
Well, you gotta get there first, and that means getting through these dark nuts.
Dark nuts in this room have been very nice to both runners. They haven't been attacking the bottom row. Usually you see them down there trying to hang out. Cavin and JKAllen expertly are clearing these out as far as staying out of that middle and, oh, there's a good clock for him, attacking them from the bottom. So very well done by both of them.
Chat wants to know what's the bagel, and that is the power bracelet. It gets all items in this game get affectionately nicknamed at some point or another, so you'll often hear the croissant, the bagel, any kind of thing like that. But
yeah, it is more of a croissant. We had our friend Pan who had his race this morning, and so the food terms have been on my mind ever since watching his run. So my apologies, chat. Yeah, we're talking about the power bracelet.
What commentator could possibly put that in your head? I can't imagine. JKAllen finds the heart container now, which, by the way, that's number 10.
Number 10, and also this is huge because it's going to make him leave 8. He's got everything out of 8 now, so won't be losing any more time. And which way is he going to go, west or east? This is going to decide everything. He might even whistle. I think he's going to whistle out of here, which is, he doesn't know it, but this is the wrong decision right now.
Well, yeah, also you're 2 screens away from the pond with that whistle.
Yeah, you've got to clear out the overworld. I know you know where a lot of the levels are, but you have not found that white sword item, and it's very tempting just to go back into levels now. I've got my ladder, let's go back into levels. But when you're in the southwest, because of how hard it is to get to the southwest, I know he has the recorder to get back, but when you're in there, you might as well knock out and see exactly what's around you, especially if it's 1 or 2 screens away.
Here's another good question in chat, because we don't want to talk too much inside baseball. It's asked, what does chat mean when they say white sword is the bow? As part of the shuffle, the white sword can, and in this case has, gotten shuffled into another spot, so it's in a dungeon we know at this point. That means something else takes the spot of that white sword. It's available on the overworld, and it requires a certain number of hearts to be able to get it. So in this seed, that was the bow. So you had to have enough hearts to be able to pick up the bow, because the bow was the white sword item.
Yep, that's a perfect explanation, because everything's been shuffled in, just like you said. That white sword is in a dungeon, and that means a dungeon item has to be on the overworld.
The funniest thing is when a heart container requires heart containers to get it.
It's like you don't have enough heart to get this heart. Just so confusing. All right, so Cavin back in 1. He knows he's missed an item now, and he just realized it. He's going back in there to try to get this second item. He did have a Y-Force, and the reason it's called a Y-Force is because the Triforce was in the middle of that NSU room, which means he could not pass through that NSU room without picking that up. So it's called, oh my gosh, why is the Triforce here? It's a Y-Force. That's why you see that in chat. He does want to get this map. He's got to be very careful because these dark nets hit hard when they do hit. But he's looking for the second item, and we know it's in the northeast there. So he's going to up A here, do the exact same routing that JKAllen did in 1.
This is level 7 that JKAllen is... I'm sorry, you're talking about Cavin. JKAllen is in 7, by the way, looking for the item.
He is still desperately searching for this bow. He's in go mode. As long as we're not raft blocked, he is in go mode as soon as he finds his bow, so he's just desperately looking everywhere for this bow.
Cavin finds that bomb hole, he's got the recorder, and will he use that to go straight back to level 8?
Yeah, I think it's the obvious play. If I'm in his shoes, he saw that block. He knows he needs another item in 8. He's got to go back to 8 right now.
You also know that that room is not deep in 8, so it's a quick check.
So that whistle was to 5. We know the red candle was in 5. He knows the red candle's in 5. I think he whistled 1 too many times. The way the whistle works is if you're pointed to the right or up, what it's going to do is increment your counter by 1. If you're pointed to the left or down, it's going to make your counter go down, decrement your counter. So basically what he did there is he just blew 1 too many times. He went down to 5 instead of to 8 when I think he meant to go to 8.
He was only 2 screens away. He could have walked there. He's got something else on his target.
Yeah, it's almost like he wants to check vanilla 1 or now the middle, because he just blew the whistle to 3. So he's going a different path than what we even thought.
And this Big Dogger is giving JKAllen trouble. Good time to point out again for people who may have joined us in progress. He does not have the red ring yet. He does get the Triforce out of 7, however. That is just his sprite color. He does not have the red ring.
Yeah, so JK right now is the only thing he's missing is bow, so he's gonna go back into 7 and look for this bow. And unfortunately, he's gonna be every single level he goes into, he's gonna have to spend the entire time full clearing it. He hasn't found the white sword item. The white sword item was so close to 8; it was one screen over from 8. But he believes that this this bow is going to be inside one of the dungeons. He's going to be full clearing this because he was never able to find that. So that might cost him quite a bit. Cavin gets his ladder, so all that advantage that JKAllen had is gone now because Cavin found the ladder.
And chat answering the question in various ways, what even is the red ring? The bottom line is it increases your defense. It reduces the damage you're going to take. So it's very useful.
Yeah, for those not familiar with the vanilla game, you start with a green tunic, and as you go through the game, you have the ability to buy a blue ring on the overworld, which halves your damage. And then eventually, once you get to level 9 in the vanilla game, there's a red ring that you can find, which quarters your damage. In the randomizer, the red ring can be on the overworld as the white sword item. It can be just like any other item, it's mixed in, so you can find the red ring. We haven't found it yet. It could still be in 9, it could be in 4. We haven't found 4. It could also be in 7 here that JK is digging out. We don't know. All that we know right now is that between 4 and 7, the 2 dungeons that we haven't seen, we know we have to have the raft on the outside. It can't be in 9, so the raft has to be in either 4 or 7, but the red ring can be anywhere else.
We've seen both boomerangs, so that means we've still got the book on the table and the white sword, as well as this bow.
Yeah, so Cavin finds 4, finds the compass here. He is in go mode. Basically, all he has to do is find this Triforce, find the path to the Triforce, and then go back to, let's see, he hasn't seen 6 or 7. He has to finish 6 and 7, and then he can go into 9. He's got everything he needs: ladder, silver arrows, bow. We know where all the levels are. He's not blocked anywhere, so this is it.
And I think if you're Cavin, you're hoping to pick up a heart container incidentally along the way. With these runners, I think the magic sword would be a very welcome pickup. For those who combat at a very high level, you probably feel a lot more comfortable going into level 9 with just the wood sword. But for most of us, getting the white sword or magic sword would be very, very welcome.
Yeah, I think for anybody. I mean, just going from the wood sword to the white sword, going from 1 point of damage to 2. They do have wand, which helps, but the wand doesn't do anything to whiz robes. And the whiz robes on the overworld right now have just been such a problem that I know they're nearing the end of the game, but just being able to double your combat in that way is really welcome. So white sword's going to be somewhere in a dungeon, we know that, but getting to the 10 hearts, just like you said, Cavin just got to 10 hearts. He'll be able to check for the master sword now.
And there's the map to show you 4, so now Cavin has a little more information to try and make his way to that Triforce. By the way, level 7 did give us a hint about the ladder after both runners had the ladder.
It's so nice of the game to do that, right? Yeah, so unfortunately what's happened here in this race is JK was not able to find that white sword item that Cavin was able to. Cavin was able to take the entire southwest, burn all the trees. There's 3 burn trees in the southwest on your way to Vanilla 3 that usually you take out, pretty quickly as you're going through the routing. The problem was JK was finding levels so quickly that he did not burn any of those trees, or he only burned a couple of them, maybe one of them. And because of that, he missed that white sword item. And unfortunately, this seed, the white sword item, was the bow. So what really hindered him this time was finding the levels as quickly as he did. He's believing that this bow has to be in a level. And unfortunately for him right now, the white sword item is it's outside the dungeons, and it's something that he might miss here for a long time.
So Cavin still has 2 levels ahead of him. The great news is you're in go mode, so we know the compass is going to come early in one of those, and he will be able to route a little bit better than JKAllen's able to do.
Yeah, Cavin's in absolute go mode. He's just going to put his head down and try to find that Triforce and get out of there.
Not that you'll pass on the white sword if you find it, but...
No, not at all. I'm with you.
And by the way, somebody asked earlier if Cavin had seen that the wand was the ladder item. I believe he did, but that doesn't necessarily mean he remembers. Because that was very close to start, so I believe both of them walked up that way just to see what was there.
Yeah, they both went right away, and they saw that it was the wand, but that was at minute 2 or 3, and they're an hour and 15 minutes in, so remembering that and acting on it, that's going to be different.
And also, just how much time do you want to spend on that versus... The combat's not been terrible in these dungeons. There's been a couple rough levels. This is not the most fun room to come out to, but...
No, that's one where you just get out as quick as possible.
The wand obviously helps a lot, but Cavin's been doing very well with this wood sword. Still, there's only so much he can do against a room like this with just the wood sword. Oh, and he does have the arrows, which has been a help as well, but he gets stabbed in the side anyways.
Oh my gosh, this is like 3 back-to-back-to-back rooms. If he stays right here, I don't know if he has any bombs, that's the thing. Yeah, with no bombs, he's bomb blocked, so he's either going to go buy bombs for $40 or try to get some bombs off some enemy here. Those blue Lionels, if he shoots them with the arrows, they can give him bombs, but you got to be super careful right now.
And bomb blocked out of another room. What a difference this makes. JKAllen is here, still struggling his way through 6. Although 6, we did find the item.
Yeah, we know
6
is the
boomerang, so he's just looking for his way to the Triforce.
Right, yeah, he's got that knowledge, so he's just trying to dig through this as far as he can. He's got a ladder now, which he didn't have before. He's just trying to make as big a dent in what he has left as possible. Cavin's just doing a little cleanup. He's trying to find this Triforce. Going to find the Triforce in 6, but really there's nothing other than this that's holding him back.
Oh, there's the compass, and it tells him that he's 1 room away.
Think he's looking for a heart container? And he gives the old man a shot, looking for that ladder for so long, and then he finally gets the hint for the ladder way after he needed it.
Unfortunate. I don't have written down the item for 7, so I don't believe we ever found it. So it's also worth checking those 2 rooms just to see if you could pull it out.
Yeah, I think he might be looking for the white sword there. Like you said, white sword would have helped the combat a little bit. Oh man, a death right there in 7. It's going to take him a while to get back there too.
And JKAllen's going to pick up this Triforce out of 6.
Yeah, Waffles, we see that quite a bit. You see hints like in 9 where you'll find Ganon and then you'll keep proceeding past, Ganon, and all of a sudden you get the hint from the old man that Ganon's in the southwest or something after you've killed him, and you're like, dude, really? Come on. So JK now is starting to open up some locations that he hadn't before. This could help if he gets to the southwest here. I know he's going to go over 1 and he's going to find level 4, which might distract him a little bit because he's right around 1 here. But he's opening up some locations, maybe looking for this white sword item, maybe going, hold on a second, I haven't found this yet. Maybe this is the key to what I need to do.
Yeah, that southwest is one of the worst places to access, although having the recorder in the Triforce out of 8, it's a little better for him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he can just fly there. There's a lot of places I feel he hasn't explored yet still, so...
I also didn't see him go to the pond location with the recorder when he was right there.
Yeah, that was very odd when you have the recorder and you come out of 8 and the vanilla level 7 is a couple above you. It's kind of odd not to go ahead and just check, just see what's up there. All right, the Triforce for 7 for Cavin. All he's got to do now is just get through 6, and he's ready for 9.
I did not write down an item for 4, so I don't believe we've seen it yet. And JKAllen has to look for it. This is the shorter dungeon, and you're still missing that bow.
Yeah, he's probably going to find here, if it's my guess, he'll probably find the raft. We haven't seen raft yet. Could find the white sword as well in here.
Or the book.
He could find the book, that's right.
Question in chat, where was the bow? Because it actually wasn't in a level. It was the white sword item. So if you see on our tracker map where it says sword 2, just to the right of level 8, that's where it was, and you needed enough hearts to be able to get it. And Cavin had plenty, and JKAllen has plenty, he just hasn't found that yet.
Yeah, there's not many rooms here, so he's going to be able to clear 4 pretty quickly. He doesn't have any bombs, so if there's any bomb holes, that might troll him a little bit, but he should be able to clear this pretty quickly, find what the item is, get the Triforce, get out of here. All he'll have left is 5, so if he does overworld exploration, he's not out of this yet. He just has to find that bow very, very quickly, otherwise all that Cavin has to do is knock out 6 and he's good to go. I don't know why he's in 3 here, though.
Level 3 was the silvers, so he obviously found them already. Only thing I can figure is he's wants a heart container. Here we have the raft.
Yeah, raft had to be outside of 9, so I knew it was either going to be here or 7. I felt like it was going to be here. So that's going to help him. That's one more location that the bow is not. So all he has left is to dig through 5 for the bow or look for the white sword item.
The only thing that makes sense to me is that Cavin is looking for that heart container, knowing he hasn't found the white sword. And if he gets one more, Mags is that much more likely, as JKAllen has a Triforce pickup here. And you know how much of a help that would be in combat to go from wood sword to magic.
Yeah, this is still, to let chat know, this is still really close. Like, hang around here, because if JK can find where this white sword item is, 5 is easier to get through than 6 is. So the Triforce that he has left is actually going to be a quicker find than Cavin's is.
Also a good point in chat, Cavin could be farming bombs. Although this room is not a friendly bomb set.
He's either farming money for bombs to buy bombs, which makes a little more sense than bombs because there's only one enemy in there that drops bombs.
And there it is for JKAllen. He has found the bow.
That is such a huge swing right now. Going back to 5, knowing that 5 is the last dungeon that you have. I don't know if he's seen it though, because again, it's another location in the southwest that you have to either burn or bomb, and he hasn't cleared all the southwest, so he has to find 5, clear it before Cavin gets into 6 and clears it and goes to 9. So this is huge right now.
So if anyone was curious, the advantage that Cavin has had with this bow, I worked that out to be about 35 minutes that he has been able to use the silver arrows that JKAllen is now just able to use.
Yeah, we'll have to ask Cavin if this farming is for money or for bombs. It looks like it was for bombs, but unfortunately for him, the only enemy in that entire room that was going to give him bombs was the blue Lionel that was in there. So he could have killed the blue Lionel, left the room, came back into the room. If that blue Lionel was at the top of the list, it would have spawned again for him. That'd have been a little more quicker and efficient, or found an enemy set outside of that dropped bombs and looked for it that way. But that was the only one that could have given him bombs there.
And I was going to be really impressed if his play was for the heart container, because I was just thinking, you know, not many people would make that. And I always love when somebody will take a chance on a different strategy.
I think I know JK's play right here. He is digging for bombs because he knows if he wants to go to the southwest spot right here, yeah, he's killing every bomb dropping enemy trying to find bombs. He knows he has not done the southwest. So I think right now what you're seeing JK do is he's getting ready to find 5. He just has to find a bomb to do it. So he is digging the overworld right now looking for a bomb before he goes down to that southwest spot.
You know, it has been so long since it happened that I just remembered myself. I believe it's JKAllen has the bomb upgrade, so his max is actually 11. But we've just been starved for bombs this seed, so you haven't seen that too much.
Yeah, Kevin's in 6 now. He's going to do some exploring with bombs. He knows kind of the general area of which way he wants to go, but it's just kind of finding the right path here is going to be the thing. JK has got to find 5, got to find bombs and then find 5 and get through here before Cavin finds the path to get through. We do know there's bombs in the Northeast that he can buy. They're $40, but with $246, that's more efficient use of your time right now, buying those bombs back, than just trying to kill and hope for global drops right now. So yeah, he's going to whistle somewhere, and hopefully he's going to go buy bombs. It's more efficient for him to do that with the money that he's got than to sit here and try to just farm outside.
Yeah, and also if you're going to do that, don't stop short. Go ahead and get yourself 8.
Get all 11. I mean, he's got the upgrade. Might as well get the 11.
So having those 4, he's going to whistle back.
I don't blame him. They're both looking at the timer right now, about $1.30. And they're sitting there thinking, I've got to find this level. I got to get out of here. So just having the 4, he's got 1 location to explore. He's just going to go.
Which, by the way, he could still potentially have enough money to get the blue ring, and we've seen it be fairly common, so that's not off the table.
And if I didn't write this down, but if I remember right, wasn't the second bomb upgrade in 5? He'll be able to buy it here as well?
I did not think to track the bomb upgrades, unfortunately, so that is something I'll make a note to myself for in future races. I'll start tracking that because it makes sense.
Oh yeah, no worries. I mean, I think it was. Just trying to remember. He's up to 7 now, so he should be okay for this level. Cavin's getting ready to find the Triforce. So guys, chat, he's getting ready to go into 9. He's got the entire Triforce right now. It's just the lead is going to be how long it takes JKAllen in 5. They both know where 9 is, so this is pretty hype. It's going to be a close race. Whoever does 9 and performs 9 better is going to win this thing.
That 9, it's such a big dungeon. Do you explore it room by room? Do you take warps? One chance could make all the difference. It max is just 10 hearts. That's huge.
That was a great check from Cavin, because a lot of people just don't even try with 10. Be like, okay, because the max is between 10 and 14 is your check. So you have a 20% chance when you only have 10 hearts to be able to pick that thing up. Cavin said, nope, I'm going to go try. I got to upgrade myself. Now he's got mags. He's got a red potion. He's got everything he needs besides the red ring. And the red ring most likely is going to be in 9 anyway. I mean, he's got a 2/3 chance there that he's ready to roll for 9. That was just a great job on his part of upgrading yourself before you go.
And also he picked up that red potion, which is very useful as well, because it makes it that much less likely you'll have to leave 9. So Cavin gets in here at 127, and we'll see the difference for when JKAllen gets in there.
Yeah, JK's got to clear this 5, and 5 isn't usually too big. Can be trolly, can be find the bomb hole, that type of thing. But he knows he's in go mode. All he has to do is find this Triforce or the compass. Those are the 2 things he's looking for right now. Map's nice, of course, but Triforce or compass are the 2 things he wants to find.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but we've not seen Patras yet, have we?
You had to say it, didn't you? But you're correct.
Chat, guess what we're going to see plenty of in level 9?
JKAllen with the map now, so he's got info on what this looks like. It's not huge. We know he has to go to the left and up. It's easier to go to the right when these guys spawn on the left, but he is using the doorway strat. Now, this is a great strat. When you see these Lemolas, if you're in the right doorway and you hang just halfway outside the doorway, you can swing to the left and connect, and they cannot hit you the way the hitboxes work. Does a good job by JKAllen to clear through that and go to the left here.
Question in chat, what is 100% required? And while 2/3 of the answer was correct, that bow and silver arrows are required, a sword is required. Which sword is optional, but you must have a sword.
Yeah, so right now what you're seeing Cavin do is Cavin is going through level 9. He's listening for Ganon. If you don't know how it works, Ganon can be heard from one screen away. From whichever. So right now, this room that he's in, if Ganon was to the north, south, east, or west, you'd be able to hear Ganon's roar. So he is going all the way through level 9 listening for that. If he hears that, he knows he's very, very close. That's what Cavin's primarily looking for. Also, if he were to clear a room that's got a shutter door in it, just one single shutter door, can't be multiple, one single shutter door, if he clears all the enemies out and that shutter door does not open, that's the room that Zelda is in. So without the compass, you can find where Zelda is even before you kill Ganon, because that door will not open until you do kill Ganon. So that's a way to track down Zelda without having that compass.
We're getting a bunch of flags questions, so let's cover this real fast. We are playing under the Swiss tournament flag set rules. So if you download the latest version of the randomizer, there is one button that just says 2017 Swiss. That is the rule set that we are playing under. And among that, you've got this overworld and dungeon shuffling of monsters, and also under that, Ganon is going to be required. So every single one of these races, they are going to have to kill Ganon to find Zelda, and they're going to need the entire Triforce to be able to get into 9.
Yeah, JK right now just showed up on the one single solitary room over there in 5. So 5's been trolling him a little bit, taking a little longer to clear it than Cavin did. But Cavin also was looking for an item at that time that JK doesn't need to. Unfortunately, JK is going to go through every single room of 5 here. Cavin have to bounce out of 9 is a little help for JK, but JK's got to fly through here and get to 9.
Yeah, Cavin needs bombs. The good news is there's a lot of enemies down here that drop bombs.
And with that increased sword upgrade there, he's going to buy these bombs here, but he's able to wipe out these whiz robes very, very quickly with the magical sword. So farming these guys shouldn't take too long for him.
Yeah, he's going to walk right back into level 9 with 8 bombs. That hardly took any time. It is a very worthwhile play. And he will up an A to get the health back. JKAllen finds the bait block. That's not going to be a problem.
So JK is still kind of exploring 5, trying to find this Triforce here. So this 9 looks like it's going to be ultra trolly. I mean, if we're already bomb blocked already, this is going to be kind of crazy.
It might be a case... Well, you're probably not going to learn to 10 count on the fly. I think everybody's pretty familiar with the idea that it's out there now, but you might have to try and adapt some. Because if you're going to need this many bombs, you're just going to lose so much time if you have to keep ducking out for it.
Yeah, you've either got to know how to 10 count and work that, or really, really have a good firm grasp of which enemies will give you bombs, so you know which ones to farm and which ones not to farm. Cavin right now is just having some trouble finding which bomb hole it's going to be, which way he's got to go, and he's using a lot of his resources because of that.
So this is where whatever method you use to track 9, you have to make sure you're very good at it, because what could really hurt you the worst is doing the same thing twice.
Yeah, exactly. You hit on a great point there. I would advise anybody that's new to this, anybody that runs the rando, and I'm not the only person that would do this, you can't bomb You can store a bomb. So the way that works, what he was trying to do, and I'm not sure if he counted to 10, he's going to lucky bomb drop here from the room. But I think he killed 9 guys, and then he was going to bomb a gel and try to get a bomb off of it, which works in theory, right? You think that's the 10th enemy, but the problem is those gels don't drop anything. So it can't force a bomb drop because it doesn't drop anything. Now, storing the bomb works like this. If he bombs that gel, and that's the 10th enemy he kills, as long as he finds another enemy that's going to drop something and doesn't get hit in between, he can store that bomb. So even if it's the 11th or 12th thing that he kills, the next one that he kills that drops a bomb for him, as long as he's not gotten hit, is going to work like the 10th enemy. It's going to drop a bomb. It's called storing a bomb on an enemy that does not drop the bomb. And that's what he was trying to do with that gel there. He's trying to bomb, and it looked kind of weird, but he's trying to store that bomb on there.
Well, it was a welcome sight in the staircase, but it was an unwelcome sight when the Keys walked up and gave him a hug.
Yeah, so I think that whichever one of these runners, because JK now has the compass, so he's going to be able to pull this Triforce out of 5 here. He's going to get to 9. Whichever of these runners does a better job with bomb management and tracking their level 9 is going to win this race.
Ooh,
Toaster, that's a great question. What if it's number 16? So if you store a bomb on number 10, it doesn't give you a bomb. It's not a bomb dropping enemy. It's not an item dropping enemy. And I know you're just asking me this for fun. You kill 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, and those are all gels. And then you kill a Stalfos for number 16. The fairy will override the bomb. So you can store a bomb, and as long as number 16 isn't your first item dropping enemy that overrides it, then you're still going to get the bomb. But 16 will still produce a fairy.
So
Thank you, Toaster.
If you're new to the randomizer, don't let all this scare you. You do not have to know all this to be able to beat a round of the randomizer. It's just the more knowledge you have along these lines, it will help you. And JKAllen finally gets his Triforce.
Does the bomb override the fairy at 20? Once you get past 16, that fairy's gone. So one of the things you'll see people do in the vanilla game, I mean, this is to my knowledge, if somebody out there can correct me, but I believe this is to be true. As long as you get past 16, if the 16th enemy that you kill in a row does not produce an item, then 16 is no longer there, and it's every 10 again. It's 10, 20, 30, 40. So yeah, it'll override the fairy at 20.
Apparently we have heard Ganon.
So it looks like JK is going to go back and check for mags, maybe. It is right here, right by start.
And he's got 12 hearts. This makes all the sense in the world, and we've got a Ganon fight.
He did not check for mags. He's going right to 9.
Oh, wow. I mean, it's at least 50% that he'd gotten magic there, so...
And you see
really
the
excellent
huge
Ganon
difference.
fight.
That was a great Ganon fight. Just 4 hits from the magical sword. JK is going to have to do this in 15. And the hint of all hints right there, the kidnapped awaits in the northwest of Skull. So level 8 in every level in Zelda is played on an 8x8 grid. So the northwest of Skull means that she is going to be in a 4x4 section of the northwest of level 9.
So by my count, that took 8 minutes approximately from entering 9 for the first time to get Ganon down. That is a very respectable time through 9, but he does still have to get to Zelda.
Yeah, still got to find the girl, but these bommels right here that he's able to find should lead him there. There's not many more rooms that he has to check. As long as they're not trolly, he should get there really quickly.
And he does have that potion in the bank, so even if combat gets to be an issue, he should be able to restore his health pretty easily.
Okay, game, as I said, as long as it's not trolly. And there she is behind a Patra. So you called it. We're going to see Patras here. We have found Zelda. Get some GGs going in chat. Cavin wins with a time of 1:38.11. So let's hear it for Cavin. That was a great run by him. Again, one of the newer runners to the scene. Him and JK both have, like I said, 7 SRL runs between them both. So to get this done in sub 2 hours, right around 1:30, that's great. With the overworld that we had, the wood or the bow being as trolly as it was, this was really well done by Cavin to finish this time, and I expect JK to finish very shortly hereafter.
Cavin joins us now. Good game.
Hello.
Glad you're able to join us. What's your first thought after completing that seed?
I never want to see wizards on the overworld again.
I don't think anybody can blame you for that thought.
Like, what, 22, 23 deaths? Most of them just from wizards on the overworld. It was not fun.
Yeah, especially right where you started with the forest, because there's a couple of those places that have only one path to walk, and you had oranges right in front of you with no sword, and blue ones on the intersection there in the forest, which is tough to get through because they took up the entire lane.
Yeah. I tried getting to where level 4 was a few times early on and just got bodied by the wizards, and so, I was like, you know what, let's just leave that for later and just hope there's no dungeon there. And of course there was.
What may have been the play of this race, or at least my favorite one, if not the decisive one, you went ahead and checked the magic sword with the minimum number of hearts.
It was pure YOLO at that point. I was like, it's not going to happen. The way the seed's going, it won't throw me a bone. And it did, and I was extremely glad.
No, that's always a great check when you're heading into 9 like that, and you're going to get no more resources the rest of the race, right? You might as well check. If you've got a chance, it's just 20%, but if you've got a chance, you might as well do it, because that increased combat and only having to hit Ganon 4 times instead of 15, my God, I would do that all day long.
Yeah, especially with only, like, not even a blue ring or anything. Speaking of which, did we ever find where the white sword or red ring were?
We did not find them. With JKAllen might explore some different rooms than you did. I think it's pretty highly likely that we're looking at them being at 9 at this point, or at least one of the 2.
Yeah, the book, the white sword, and the red ring were the 3 outstanding items that we didn't know about. One of those is in level 7, and then the other 2 are going to be here in level 9. So because your 9 was pretty efficient, I mean, it was kind of a little bit hard to find her in the northwest there. You're going through some bomb holes, but your 9 was pretty efficient. You didn't see any of that.
Yeah.
Thank you, chat. The credits told us both of those items were in 9, the white sword and the red ring. I was working on getting Cavin in here, and Cavin was working on getting in here, so we didn't see that.
So that would mean the raft was in 4?
Yeah, JK pulled the raft out of 4, so we knew that was in 4. I'll tell you the difference of this race was when you were in the southwest and you were exploring the southwest and found level 5 and found the bow, JK did not burn a lot of the trees that you did down there, and he didn't find the bow until very, very late. So that was the difference between the seed right here.
Yeah, you had about a 30-minute advantage with the silver arrows as a combat weapon, so that was obviously a big difference with the way this seed went.
Yeah, I got lucky that I got the silver arrows so early on in 3. It was like the first dungeon I did, or one of them.
Yeah, it was funny because early on you took different routes to get there, but you acquired the Triforces almost kind of right on top of each other as far as when you found, I think you both had 2 or 3 Triforces and the same ones very early on. But after that, when you guys branched out, your routing was just a little bit better, and digging through the southwest, you were able to find, like I said, the bow, and then not have to dig dungeons that he was digging because he believed the bow was inside those dungeons.
I would have dug the dungeons if I hadn't got, I think I got it from a hint, or no, yeah, I got the white sword hint. Whoever that was. It was off in the lake, where the vanilla white sword usually is.
Yeah, not having that hint is what cost JK, I think, probably the race, because that was just such a huge advantage you have in the bow, not only just for combat, but because you didn't have to dig those dungeons.
Yeah. I was honestly seriously considering digging through like 4 and 7, and just hoping that like 50% chance I might find either the white sword or the red ring, just one of them would make my 9 a lot easier. But at the end, I didn't, mainly because I didn't have bombs in 4 or in 7 really.
So let me ask you this: when you went back to 6 and you were doing a little digging there before you had to go, I think you were either in 6 or 3, and you're doing some farming, some up A farming. Were you looking just for bombs, or what was going through your mind at that point?
That was a 3. I was just looking for bombs because I couldn't remember what had blocked me in 6, if it was a ladder block or a bomb block. So, and I had no bombs at all, so I just wanted to be just ready just in case. And I couldn't remember if it was red Lionels or blue Lionels that dropped bombs. So I was farming both and just hoping I would get lucky.
Yeah, that would be my piece of advice going forward for the next match, is to kind of take a look at those drop tables on what drops what, because there was only one enemy, the blue Lionels in that room was the only enemy that was going to drop a bomb for you. And I kind of got the hint that you were doing that. But there was a really small chance of getting the bombs because there was only one enemy that was going to do that for you in there. So it took a little time that you probably could have gotten back if you just know that drop table a little bit better. So either print it out or have that for you, if I could give you just one piece of advice going forward.
Yeah, definitely.
JK now, he's had to leave 9. He heard Ganon's roar, so he's very close to finishing. I think he's going to go check right now and see if he can get the magic sword or do something here. He does have 12 hearts, so he had a couple more hearts than you did here to finish. But he's still sitting on wood sword, and trying to get through that 9 with wood sword is very rough.
Oh, yeah.
Cavin, talk to us a little about what have you done to get ready for this tournament?
Not much, honestly. I did a bunch of Link to the Past tournaments and races, but when I saw that there was a Zelda 1 tournament, I just basically joined it with very little practice or anything. I used to play this like 6 months ago, a year ago. I got into this a while back, but never really did any races or joined any Discords. It was more just a thing that I just did for the fun. And then I got into a Link to the Past, and then yeah, I just joined this, and I did a little bit of practice, but honestly, I haven't really done much, so I'm kind of rusty.
When you played before, did you do rando, or did you do like the no up A route, or were you a vanilla runner, or what did you do before?
Rando, mostly. I tried doing some, like, learning the route for the speedruns, but I never got around to finishing it.
So what are your initial thoughts? Was it as fun as you were hoping?
Rando in general? Oh yeah, it's definitely fun. It's scavenger hunt, find what you just can, and it's just with especially with the shapes, it's a new experience every time. Not necessarily a pleasant one if you're stuck finding the bomb hole, like it was at the beginning of 9, but it's definitely really fun.
Well, I tell you, I mean, for being a newer runner as far as doing the randos and you haven't really practiced yourself too much and that type of thing lately, you really handled yourself well. I mean, the seed was very trolly in the overworld, very combat heavy, but once you got inside the dungeons and that type of thing, you really handled yourself out. The routing was really good. I was very impressed for somebody that when I was looking at it, you had 4 total SRL races before this, and you joined on October 30th of this year. So that's crazy good for just jumping in like this.
Yeah, thanks, I guess. Definitely still have quite a bit of work to do, though.
Yeah, being in the 1-0 bracket and seeing some of the names, and it just gets harder from here, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely not going to win my next match, I don't think.
Well, not with that attitude, man. Come on.
Here we have JKAllen has found Ganon, and so the fight is on again. By the way, we were very impressed with your technique in the Ganon fight.
I was impressed too. Usually my Ganon fights don't go that well. I mean, only 4 hits went really nicely, but usually I get hit a lot. That's why I chugged the potion right away. I did not want to risk a Hyrule driver.
And JKAllen did pick up the magic sword, so was able to get through that Ganon also quickly.
That's good.
Immediately nopes out of a Patra, so I do the same thing when I say, I'm like, nope, let's see if we can go the other way.
Oh, did he go right?
Yeah, he went right after that. Yeah.
So he might not get the hint about Zelda.
Well, he's gone back to the left now. He did not want to mess with Patra on just one heart. And who does? Ooh.
Oh, it takes a death to the traps. Those traps are tricky if you're trying to push that block there, right? They just snap shut real quick. So the question is, looking forward, Cavin, are you going to jump in some nightly races, or how are you going to practice up for the next race? What's your plan here?
I'm definitely gonna have to do a lot more nightly races and a lot more just practicing on stream. I've got somewhat of the routing and I know like the fundamentals, but I still have quite a bit of work to do with combat. A lot of times I just tried to move left and I moved right, or just walked right into an enemy into my death. Definitely need to work on that, but yeah, a lot more practice and a lot more runs, I think.
Yeah, this is a fun race to commentate. I mean, like I said, you handled yourself well in the dungeons, and Overworld was very, very trolly with the Wizrobes on there, but luckily they're there and not down in the Underworld. So once you got in the dungeons, it was actually a little bit easier in the combat.
Yeah.
I would much rather take a Darknut 9 than a Wizrobe 9 any day.
Oh, definitely. Darknuts, they don't have projectiles. They're kind of annoying, but if there's no bubbles, they aren't that difficult. Especially with bombs.
Yeah, so one of the things I see too is that the wand was the coast item. Is that something that you'd marked down and you went back to like a little later because you forgot, or you just never really found a good time to get over there because you had silver arrows and you had combat looked down, or what was your thought on that?
Well, when I first saw the spawn, I was like, okay, let's go see the coast item right away, obviously. Saw it was the wand, but yeah, when I'd gotten that ladder, which I did not appreciate the ladder's location, I honestly completely forgot. I was like, okay, I've got the ladder, I'm in pseudo-go mode, and I'd forgotten about the wand. And then I was looking at my tracker after I'd beaten 7, and I was like, oh yeah, the wand, it's on the coast. I should probably go get that. And so yeah, then I went and did that. Yeah, I almost didn't even get the flute out of 1. I'd left once I got the Triforce. I was like, okay, power bracelet, I got the hint, I know it's not required. Flute, it might not be required, and it's just fast travel. So I was just hoping, since I thought it was kind of behind, and as I was heading back towards where 6 was, I remembered, wait, there was that dig dogger in that staircase room in 8. What if that has the ladder? And I just gambled that it did, and it did.
Yeah, it was a great call on your part because at the time, JK actually had the lead on you at that point because he was able to pull that ladder out before you. He didn't have the bow. You had the bow before you did. But he was able to pull that ladder out because he did have the recorder from 1. So any time between that and the time you found the ladder, JK was actually in the lead on that, and you had to come back by finding that recorder and making the play that you did. It was a great play to go back into 8 knowing that block was there.
Yeah, I mainly thought the block was there because I'd seen so many staircases elsewhere, and I was just like, okay, so many staircases, there surely can't be any others but the one by the dig dogger. Yeah, I spent a lot of time searching for that ladder in a lot of dungeons. That's one of the main reasons why I kept looking in 3, because I was looking for, well, a lot of items, mainly the ladder, and looking at when I found the red candle in 5.
Yeah, we saw you see the red candle, and you're like, nope, I don't want the red candle. So what was going through your mind when you saw it? I don't want to take the couple seconds that I don't need that, for the combat reasons, or what's your thoughts on the red candle when you already have the blue one in the wand?
I was hesitant, since I usually do like the red candle. The candle is one of my favorite weapons, but at that point it was already so late into the seed, I figured it's not worth it at this point, and I figured I was behind.
Yeah, I probably would have made the same play as far as just leaving it there. There's uses for it in combat sometimes in some corner cases, but having the ammo that you did, I probably would have made the same play bouncing out of that.
Chat, let's see some GGs for JKAllen. He's not going to be able to join us in the chat. He doesn't have a microphone, but we certainly want to wish him a GG and put on a great race effort for us tonight.
Yeah, so the difference between the two runners, Cavin finished at 1:38.11 official SRL time. JKAllen came in at 1:52.52.
And I asked if he had a thought he wanted us to share. It was 4 words: Wizrobes on the Overworld.
Like I said, for having the experience level you guys have had as far as racing and getting back into it, not being, like you said, as practice and stuff, I think you both handled yourself well. There was some combat craziness a little bit just because of what the seed threw at you. The ladder blocks were like crazy, the ladder being where it was. Finishing with the times you did, I think it was very, very commendable, very respectable. So nice job. GG's to both of you guys.
And I think with that, we're going to wrap this up and return the channel back to Speed Gaming. Let's say thanks, Speed Gaming, for being such a great partner with the tournament. Chat, how about some thanks feasels in there, please? Also invite you to join us on the Zelda 1 Discord. You can keep up with the tournament when races are scheduled, and also about the nightly races.
Yeah, and thanks for restreaming and everything and commentating too.
Well, no worries on my end. This was a lot of fun, Cavin. You did a great job, and you guys kept it close all the way through. You put on a great show for the people in chat that were watching. They were hanging on every turn that you guys were doing and cheering with you guys. So it was a very good race to commentate, very good race to watch, and we all enjoyed it. So you guys are the stars of the show. We appreciate it.
With that, I'll say thank you to my co-commentator Redbird Grad and Dark Falls for doing a good job for us on tracking. Thank you, chat, for joining us and enjoying this great race tonight. And have a great night, everybody.
Take care. Thank you, guys.